in the last 3 weeks, I've had two guys that contacted me through PM and had the same kind of problem. And what it was is they did all the right thing. They found a Filipina to spend time with and went ahead and met up with her and all that. And then they found out that she was basically playing three guys at once and really, giving the act with they're so in love. And meanwhile, they're handing out boob pics to two other guys and taking in money, the whole 9 yards. And what ended up happening is they were kind of devastated because they really didn't expect it. They were thinking that she was like, going to work out. And that's what leads me to the topic for today. If you want a decent rule about how to avoid getting into that position, it would be this. During the first 3 months, like I've said before, that's when you're going to see the actual person. If after 3 months she's still sweet, loving, devoted, all that, then great, But within 3 months, I found that usually that's when you start discovering all the what I call the weirdness. Either she's a cheater, she's just after your money, she's got some kids she didn't tell you about, all that stuff seems to come out, with a little bit of time. So the way you avoid that, but still give it the best shot, because, I'm not saying every girl's a cheater or anything. I'm not saying that they're all going to go bad after 3 months. I'm just saying if they're bad, that's about when you'll find out. And if they're good, if they're a good girl, then 3 months come and go and they're still the same great woman they were at the beginning. Here would be the rule is during that first 3 months, be emotionally involved. Okay. Be emotionally involved. Enjoy the time. Enjoy that whole honeymoon period where you're just getting to know her and enjoying the time that you're spending together with her in person. Go ahead and emotionally enjoy that time. Even if it doesn't work out, enjoy that honeymoon period. But don't get emotionally invested. There's a difference. Okay. So you want to emotionally just be happy, enjoy it, enjoy the passion, enjoy the whole thing. But don't get emotionally invested. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is don't go betting the farm just because everything went great the first few weeks. That's what I mean. Don't get emotionally invested that first 3 months. Again, enjoy the time, have a great time, but don't get so emotionally invested that you feel like you found your soulmate or that you found the woman you're going to marry. Don't even start thinking about that till after 3 months. Because if she turns out to be a total flake, there's a deal breaker involved, it'll be easier to walk away from her and move on to the next one, which is what you need to do if you're not emotionally invested. If you haven't started planning your whole rest of your life with this woman that first 3 months. Because it's heartbreaking. I mean, I talked to this guy, just a few days ago, and he comes all the way out to the Philippines after spending time talking to the girl online and all that. And, after about a week and a half of fantastic island hopping and doing stuff, he finds out that she's not who she was. So naturally, because he was already thinking, man, he's going to marry this girl and all that, he was really heartbroken. So, I talked to him and I said, well, hey, pull it together. You're already in the Philippines. Go ahead and just have a good time. Just say goodbye to the girl, salvage the 2 weeks you got left of your vacation. Have a great time. Just have a blast. But he didn't want to because he was too heartbroken. He didn't want to be with her and he didn't want to be with any other Filipinas, not even for a short time. He just wanted to go home, kind of go home and lick his wounds kind of a thing. And I can understand that. I mean, I can totally understand that because when you get your heart, again, invested and you get your hopes up way too high, the first 3 months is not the time to be getting your hopes up. I mean, you can be optimistic and think, hey, this is looking pretty good. Being optimistic is okay, but don't invest your heart and your emotions to the point where if it doesn't work out, you're going to be emotionally destroyed and, end up wasting an entire trip to the Philippines. What you want to be able to do is that first 3 months is say, well, okay, it didn't work out. Oh, well, it's just the odds, the way it goes, it happens. And then you go to, girl number 2, and if that doesn't work out in 3 weeks, you go to girl number 3. and you just, get back in the saddle, which is a lot easier if you haven't like started naming your children practically already. Because the first 3 months with a good girl or a bad girl look almost identical, especially in the first 3 weeks. You really can't tell. They're really good at just kind of like playing the part. They look identical. They're like chameleon. It's only going to be after the 3 months, or maybe even 2 months if you're lucky, that you're really going to start being able to see, what's what.